Welcome to our this ongoing series of English lectures on Sindhi literary poets in our this ongoing online literary program called Sages of Sindh. We have also called another native name of this program in our Sindhi language. It is called Mudat Anokhia. All of you who have been our regular viewer of this ongoing series and lecture program do know that we embarked upon this literary adventure almost 5 weeks ago, and this is our fourth program on a Sindhi poet. So I would like to tell you my introduction that my name is Munir Domki. I teach English language and English literature to university students, both male and female, and I have been teaching English language and English literature to many students for the last half decade. So you also know about the fact that every program carries some sort of objective. So this program also has some objectives. I would like to discuss with you, I would like to tell you that what are the objectives that we are going to discuss today in this lecture. We will introduce you this poet whose picture is behind me and also his literary work, a collection of Sindhi ghazals. And we will also tell you his humanistic aspects in his poetry. And he's talking about humanism every time in his poetry. He has emerged as a humanist poet too in modern Sindhi literary, poetry literary field and among his contemporary Sindhi poets. So he's raising the question about the current state of humanity in his society and around the world. Also questioning the validity of human society if it is devoid of a mutual loyalty and feelings of humanity. Moreover, he is also offering seminal suggestions to readers and to all of us as the reader of his poetry how to reconstruct this human society which seems to be almost in a miserable and abject condition. And he's also talking about some regrets too, that why do humans, despite the fact that they possess the treasure of knowledge and they possess a brilliant mind, they are involved in the meanest acts. So apart from this, we would also talk about his notion of love in his poetry, in his collection of the ghazals. The book is in my hand, which is called Ehsaas Khatam Thi Viyo. Now, look the novelty of this poet, whose picture is behind me, that he has named his book too, that Ehsaas Khatam Thi Viyo means the feeling of humanity has died or does not exist in modern world anymore. So he is not disappointed, or he's not, some sort of a dejected soul, but he does portray what he observes, the daily happenings of life in his poetry. So basically, he has written the romantic poetry, but he is also a neoclassical poet too. Secondly, the second objective of this program would be to discuss his notion of love in his poetry. And the third objective of this, and the final objective of this program is that we would bring under discussion his concept of life, and that too through this literary book. So now, moving on and taking this lecture forward, let me tell you that who is this man who's watching with some sort of terrible looks. His name is Ajiz Ashik Tunyo. If I tell you the rough translation of his name in English, it would be Ajiz means humble, Ashik means lover, and Tunyo is his family name, the community name that he inherited from his family and community. So look the novelty of this man, the name novelty, that he's humble, he's a lover, and he is coming from Tunyo community. And if in English we say that it means to a new community, to a new, he comes from a very modern community. So Ajit Ashok was born on 25th February 1981 in a small village called Long Tunyo in Mehar city in the jurisdiction of district Dadu in the southeast of Sindh. So the very strange thing about this poet is that he was born in the month of the spring, but till now he has seen many autumns in his life. So this is very great tragedy to him and in his life too. So he's a lover. Because he talks about the love in his poetry. He's a poet. He talks about the simple, the tender, the basic emotions, feelings of humanity too in his poetry. And moreover, he got a pen name, and his pen name is also Humble. Now, look the combination of this man and his creativity, that he's a humble creative artist, he's a lover, he's a poet, and he's himself too. So his combination of multi-dimensions. And according to Mushtaq Bukhari, one of the critics who also wrote the preface of this book, who is himself a renowned Sindhi literary poet, he remarks about Ajiz Ashok Tunyo, this poet, that he gives a thought-provoking poetry in his book, in his collection of ghazals. And according to Mushtaq Bukhari, that for the humble one, it's not incumbent to be a lover, but for a lover, as this poet is, both in name and in reality, being humble is essential quality, virtue. Now, if the humble one does not become a lover, that's no chemistry. If the lover becomes a humble, then he is a true and honest lover. So love teaches humbleness. This is the reason that this poet's pen name is Ajiz, means he's humble. And through his poetry, that I find that after going through this book, that I also found that this entire poetry also is a reflection of his personality too. And time and again he talks about him, that he's very humble, and he does not want to call himself unconscious man, and he's a sorrow-stricken poet too. He has seen many autumns in his life, and bitter realities or experiences of life. And also, he talks about the regrets too, and he's also confessing that some sort of mistakes he has done in life, and he wants to rectify them. So some of the couplets I'm sharing with you that I have chosen from his book, and those all couplets reflect his personality too. So those are not simply couplets, but also reflect his personality, all the words that I have spoken just right now. So as he says that, Ma ajiz nimano, ma natho chaiha sajja bezameen, asanje man mein savi sura aahin. And asa nazuk nafis aahin, asanje dil kithe sandi. Means he's a very soft, he's a tender-hearted person and the poet. And good thing that I found as a poet, as a person in him, because he's also one of my bosom friends, that what he seems to be fictional or fictitious in his, this book, he's also the real in the real life. So he portrays both happenings of life in his poetry, the real aspect of life and the imaginative aspect of the life, or the imagination and its aspect in his poetry too. Despite the fact that he has seen many autumns in his life and suffered a lot, and the ordeals that he suffered too in the life, he's talking about the courage, he's talking about the hope, he's giving the optimistic message to the readers too, as we say that Sada Moon de Masalan Sa Ashik, Himmat Pendi Manon Ke Arpan. What a couplet. According to him, that it's okay every time, because human society is full of problems everywhere around the globe. But brave is he who faces these problems amid the problems and remains brave. And that is why he's talking about that. So now moving on to the first aspect of this, his concept of humanism. But before I touch upon that, I would like to tell you that, his concept of poetry, that what is his concept of poetry? Because all of us as students of literature believe that good poets are the artists. They always want to give or present something to the readers too. And this poet gives a different notion of poetry. According to him, as he says, जिंदगी शायर जो आहे को गजल प्यार जो उत्साह है जिंदगी. He has given a realistic, definition of poetry. According to him, that poetry is reflection of life. Poetry is the poem of a realist poet, a classical poet. Zindagi shayar jo aahe ko ghazal. Life is a poem of a poet. Because whatever the poet can have a telescopic eye, ordinary people do not have. Ordinary person does not have. Pyar jo utsaah hai zindagi. And life is the inspiration of love. Means love inspires life to live it. Well, a good thing about this poet is that the concepts that I have shared with you, that every time he talks about these concepts in connection to one another and coherently and consequently and continuously in his poetry. So he does not independently talk about these things. He does connect these concepts with one another time and again, simultaneously in his poetry. So as he says that, Asa yaar pehndi akasi kaiya, mere koi khani kuch lafazi kaiya. Now, he's talking about his personal life too. As I told you in the beginning of this introduction, that his poetry also is a reflection of his personal life too, his personal personality too. As he says that, Asa yaar pehndi akasi kaiya, mere koi khani kuch lafazi kaiya. The poet is saying that my poetry is my reflection. That's another thing. Bit he has used a hyperbolic language, but he did portray the realism in his poetry. That realism that he reflected his own personality through words. And this next couplet is that is the testimony to the kind of the poetry that he's talking about. That he says that he has dedicated his entire life to the poetry field, to the poetry business, as he says. माँ बे आदिल जिंदगी घोरे शरी जीत में आया या आया हार. Now, imagine if the poet confesses that he has dedicated his entire life to this poetry field, then one can imagine, one can understand the kind of seriousness that reflects in poetry too. So it was a concept of poetry, that poetry is a poem of a poet, and poetry is a poem that tells about the life, and the poet is that person who portrays life through his poetry. Well, moving on to our first aspect of his notion of humanism, our concept of humanism, is this book itself suggests that ehsaas khatam thiyo, means humanity no more exists in this world. But he's not a pessimist. He's just portraying what he observed. And I told you that his humanistic view or aspect in his poetry is very vast and very comprehensive, very detailed and philosophical too, because all of us know that humanism was a movement that started, around 14th century in Italy. So, but he's talking about current humanism. He's talking about the modern humanity or modern human concepts too, apart from the ancient, concept of humanity. So he's talking about humanism. He's raising the, questions about the current state of humanity, and he also questions the validity of human society if the human emotions or human feelings do not. One cannot find these emotions in the human society, and that society is no more about human society. Also, he offers some suggestions how to reconstruct this society and how to bring even modicum of changes within oneself as a human being. So, time and again, we find that his poetry is full of human elements. He's talking about human power, he's talking about human beings, and he's talking about the diversity of human beings and among the human beings too. Now look, as he says that he इंसान आजिज न मामूली शया आजिज is his pen name उन्हें यार पत्थर बिदारे शदो. What a couplet. According to him, that this is the power of human, that one must not underestimate human power. Simply, the human power is not trivial. This is the power of the human being, that human being throughout history has surmounted mountains and also cloven those mountains too into pieces, and cloven even stones into pieces. And man is blind to his power. He does not know his power. And if he knows about his power, does not use his power in the right direction too. If there are people who are they are tyrants, they are also human beings. So there are tyrants who are human beings. There are lovers who are human beings. There are sympathetic people. There are philanthropists. They are also human beings. And this is why he's talking about the diverse human faces. Sometimes he exposes the ugly reality of human life, and sometimes he exposes even ugly face of human beings too. As he says that, those who are tyrants, they can't survive anymore in this world. They should know this. So he's talking that as mountains do not remain same, they even get cloven by man. So those who are tyrants, they must bear this thing in mind, that they can't survive anymore in this world if the oppressed, the downtrodden, the lower strata of society, if they once take on and set out for a journey to revolutionize the society. As he says that, असांजे वतन ते ॾुखियो वक़्तु आहे, उन्हीं खे बचाए जो सुल्तान घुरिजे. Now, poet is talking about the worst times that his country is facing. That he's talking about, he's seeking some sort of a mercy, and that mercy must be human, because God is in heaven and everything is not okay on this planet Earth, because human beings have polluted they violated the very principles of God even too. That's why this poet is seeking some sort of a Messiah, that some sort of a savior to come and save his country too. असांजे वतन ते ॾुखियो वक़्तु आहे, उन्हीं खे बचाए जो सुल्तान घुरिजे. As he says further that न दौलत न दुनिया जो सामान घुरिजे, Asake tabat penjo iman ko. Then he's now regrading and talking about the lost faith among the humanity. And what is that faith? Not the typical orthodoxy, but he's talking about the universal religion, and that is humanity. That when human beings do not have human emotions, tender emotions, they are no more human beings. And the poet is saying that we don't need wealth, we don't need other things. What human beings need, the primary legacy they have, the state they have, is that humanity. Humanity is the biggest religion in the world, and humanity is the biggest legacy and estate in the world. And the poet is demanding for such legacy. न दौलत न दुनिया जो सामान घुर्जे, असांखे त बस पंहिंजो ईमान घुर्जे, ज़माने जी गर्दिश मुंझायो असांखे, कढी जेको ॿाहिरि सो इंसान घुर्जे. Now this puzzling word of inhuman beings, because when he's talking, he's regretting about the lack of mutuality, or lack of loyalty, or lack of humanity in this world. So he's regretting that this puzzling word has puzzled us more and made us, our being even complex. The word itself is complex, but even made our word, our inner word, and our existence complex too. So we need someone to come and drive us out from this morass, from this burden, from this complexity. He's searching for some sort of a Messiah. He also talks about, Ajit Ashik Tunyo also talks about, humanism not in terms of, religion, that, and he does not say that, even we find that he's some sort of, somehow, somewhere in poetry, that he also criticizes the dogmas, the so-called orthodoxy too, in his poetry too. He talks about the humanism from the concepts of do's and don'ts. And according to him, that humanism is an attitude not to think about oneself, but to even consider other human beings, to view other human beings too, and to display a generous and sympathetic attitude to other people too. And they are the great people who express their generosity, who display their generosity for other human beings too. And this is the reason that this poet is talking about the diverse human beings, and he does accept the diversity of human beings too in his poetry. But as he says that, खुतो ना है इंसान सो क्यों खुटियों हैं, जो सबके हिते तो बेईमान घुर्जे. What a couplet! The significance of this couplet only the people of literary taste can praise. The ordinary people cannot understand even the value of this couplet, as he says. And I will have the English translation of or analysis of this couplet too. I repeat for you. As Adis says that, खुतो ना है इंसान सो क्यों खुटियों हैं, जो सब कहते तो बेईमान गुर्जे. So we live in a selfish world. We live in a self-interested world where everybody is hungry for self-interest and selfishness. And according to him, that there are still good people. One has to search. There are still good even ideas of humanity. There are good even feelings of humanity too. But one has to search for them. But man has become selfish because man has murdered, killed his own human emotion. And this is the reason that this poet, has written this book, Ehsaas Khatam Thi Hai. Humanity does not exist anymore. Well, he's also talking about, as I told you, that he's also exposing the ugly aspect of humanity too. He also exposes the ugly human faces too. As according to him, that there is no devil. Devil and the same are evil. There is no evil. The evil and the devil are within the man. himself. As he says that, मन जे मन में रखंदो आहियां, ॼण अंदर में मां शैतान. Those people who, harbor malice, harbor jealousy in their heart, cunningness in their heart. So these all are characteristics of devil's personality. They are not characteristics of human beings. Human beings are something different. And as he said further, he exposes the ugly faces of humanity too. Insanan jo kapil aaya, jazba na hai, ma hai. And this is what I was telling you in the very beginning of my lecture, that he's talking about that modern men are devoid of human emotion. And insanan jo kapil aaya, the man is the murder of another man, not animals, not other species, not other creatures. And these are men who have made the life of other human beings miserable. And his poetry is an open slate on the ugly aspect of humanity. He says that, आहे कहिड़ो अमल असांजो, हर कंहिंजे दिल में बेईमान. Everybody is cunning. And look, the humanity which was once in ancient time, even from the greatest champion of humanism, Petrov, from Italian, who was considered to be the father of humanism, if he had seen today this ugly face of humanity, he must have also felt remorse, felt regretted, or he must have condemned the modern human beings too, and their notorious ways of living, their cunning ways of living, their miserable ways of living, and making this planet Earth miserable for even other human beings. As today's human beings are very almost not all human beings in the world are like that, but the poet is talking about those human beings who, in the name of humanity, are a stigma on the face of this earth, on the face of this world. हर कंहिंजे दिल में आहे कहिड़ो अमल असांजो, हर कंहिंजे दिल में बेईमान, दीन धर्म का ॻाल्हि ॼाणा कोई बि सॾाया. Even those people who call themselves the adherents of orthodoxy, even they do not follow their principles of orthodoxy or religion. Well, moving on, as he further says that, he's a humanist poet but also a revolutionary poet, and that's why he's talking about that, जिते ॾाढो आहे उहो ॾारजे ऐं ज़ालिम जे आॾो कॾहिं कूकजे. जिते ॾाढ आहे उहो ॾारजे ऐं ज़ालिम जे आॾो कॾहिं कूकजे. Now, this poet is inviting the people to the revolution too. That if there are tyrants, if there are dictators, if there are Hitlers, one must raise voice against their tyranny, their perennial tyranny, and their oppression on the innocent human beings. And Ajida Shakdunu also talks about the reconstruction of human beings too. He is regretting about the loss of humanity or human emotions too, but he is also talking about the reconstruction of human society too and human beings too. As he says that, भला इंसान शो खुद के न तो ठाहे ज़माने. The poet is raising questions that why human beings do not reconstruct themselves, or why a man does not reconstruct himself. He's a man, he's the most exalted creature, and he has to reconstruct himself. And this is also one of the qualities of the human being, that human beings, if we see, man is sum total of his, great powers, his mind power and his physical power He's a combination of different powers too. And the poet is saying that one must exploit these all powers, the human power that human being possesses, rich powers. Ketra arman to sale bhume, soch mein insan adiske. What a couplet. According to Arvind Ashik Penu, the humble lover poet, the humanist poet, Sindhi poet, he says that Ketra arman to sale bhume, soch mein insan adiske. Look, the man's life is sum total of his whims and wishes that he carries. Soch mein insan adiske. So if you keep narrow wishes, narrow desires, you are a narrow human being. You are a little one. You are ordinary one. If you keep bigger dreams, bigger desires, bigger ambitions in the life, and you are a bigger human being. And if you are more generous, more sympathetic to other human beings, then you are also the bigger human being, the most exalted human being. And he's saying that, the poet is saying, and poet is talking about this thing, this too, that look the power of human beings. They live in a scientific age too. They desired so many things previously they needed to have. And today these all things are available to them. Soch mein insan adiske, and look all these marvelous achievements the humanity has achieved till now, our human beings have achieved. They have reached to the zenith of the sky, to move. Even today, all of us wearing shoes in our feet, and our feet are on earth, but sky is our limit. Ketra arman to sale bhume, soch mein adiske. Let me correct. Ketra arman to sale bhume, soch mein insan adiske. What a couplet. So moving on, now we would touch the second aspect of his poetry, the second objective of this program too, that I told you in the very commencement of this program, that we would discuss the notion of love. Now imagine, viewers, the artist whose name contains the humbleness, elements of humbleness, or who is himself humble, and who is a poet or lover too. So how it is possible that he can skip, or he can leave the theme of love untouched?